Hello all. So I am taking the interview of my teacher. Her name is Dr. Nandini Kannan.
Namaste.
Yeah. And she was my professor in my university. So welcome ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I want to ask you that my first question to you is that what do you know about stammering?
Um, First of all, thank you for taking my interview and giving me an opportunity to talk about this. Um, as I understand, stammering is something that is a medical problem which would have started from birth or which would have started after some accident or some kind of shocking incident. But I know that it can also be because of fear. Maybe somebody scolded a child at young age very harshly, or particularly maybe in school, or maybe somebody gave somebody emotional trauma, and in that situation, particularly if a statement like "shut up, don't speak," in a very harsh tone happened, then the child could have got some emotional block here, and I think that would have become stammering. But people who have the problem of stammering are not able to speak continuously like most other people. So that causes a lot of emotional or maybe psychological difficulties to the person who is undergoing that stammering.
Okay.
But it is something that can be resolved with
Yeah,
efforts.
right. Yeah, so you are trying to say that it it happens because of some kind of incident may have been happened to that child in a very young age.
Correct.
So what kind of incident can you just tell?
As I just now mentioned, that an incident could be something like a mother or father scolding the child for breaking some glass or spilling something or dirtying the clothes
Right.
or getting wet in the rain, maybe running behind some dog on the street. Then the parents are so angry and
Yeah.
or getting lost in a crowded place. So some serious thing could have
Or
happened.
one thing I want to add that if a child scores very less marks, then
I was going to come to that. And
yeah.
so when a child scores less marks,
Ah.
then or maybe does not pass the exam or something, so it can also happen because of sibling rivalry. So if the elder child has done very well, but the second child has not performed so well, the parents could have compared and caused emotional pressure to the child. That is one.
Right.
Similarly, in schools, some insensitive teachers at a very young, early age, they maybe when a child may be having a little bit of problem in saying or pronouncing a word, and somebody has teased the child, making fun of the child,
Right.
or the teacher may have shouted at the child so rudely that why are you taking so long to talk.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that kind of a insult can be also the reason.
Yeah, right. You are right. Yeah. Yeah, I have also seen, but if I have to speak my personal case, when I don't remember when it happened to me, but I was in third or fourth standard when it happened. So and whenever I used to tell teacher that she used to ask us question, and I wanted to answer that question, but this fear of stammering that comes into my mind, and then I did not used to answer, but my teachers spotted that I have this kind of problem. Then she told that you can speak at your own time, take your own time, and then you speak. So that gave me so much of confidence to speak. I think in very young age, the support of teachers is very important because.
So can I ask you a counter question?
Sure.
So did you find that your stammering as you were growing up increased and then started decreasing when you made effort, or it has been coming down from the beginning? It has been reducing from the beginning.
So like I told, when I was in third or fourth standard, it started. And then I thought that we also thought, my family also thought that, yeah, it is a very small problem, and with time it will go away. But then what happened was, then it got increased when I grew up. So then my family saw that she is stammering more than when she used to stammer before. So then they thought to take to a doctor, like why it is happening and all. So then there they you used to teach me some kind of techniques.
Speech therapy.
Yeah.
Marbles,
Yeah, no, like to read, when read, and to take how to take
breath and
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. So like when I used to do this in front of that doctor, I used to do very well. But when I used to come outside, like when I used to go school, or in my own building or something, so there I used to stammer like same, no normal. Yeah. So then I thought that, like it will not go or something like that. But then I got to know that it is curable.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I joined this group TISA, and then where they teach, like it is an self-help group.
Right. Very good.
Yeah. So where all the persons who have stammering, they come and they practice. So it is an online app
Platform.
where all come and practice. Yeah.
Wonderful. Very good.
Yeah.
I think in the whole last 3-4 minutes you spoke, there was very less stammering.
Yeah.
So you have come a long way.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So like, have you seen someone in your workplace or?
Yes, I have some friends who have this problem. One is around 45 and the other is around 52, 53. And they have overcome their problem, and their stammering has become very minimal.
Okay.
They speak many sentences, and maybe once or twice they repeat some words,
Right.
particularly in the beginning of the sentence.
Right.
They have come over this. Otherwise, I have met a few students. In post-graduation, you are the first person I met closely.
Okay. Yeah. So like when I met you, I met you, I think in last 2 years. We
Yes.
have met in 2021.
21.
Yeah.
After COVID, when lockdown we started offline classes.
Okay.
That time I met
Yeah,
you.
right. So from 21 to 23 till when my final year was complete. So what you saw in me?
I see tremendous change in you. I see that you have become a lot more confident. And earlier I have noticed that in the beginning, when I asked a question in the class, many students would put up their hands, but you would hesitate and put up. You won't immediately say. But over a period of time, I started noticing that when I gave you many opportunities to speak, and we waited also for your answers very patiently.
Yeah.
I saw that you were offering, and you are an intelligent girl. You used to answer all the questions very quickly. You have a sharp mind. So you were almost always ready for an answer.
Yeah.
Plus, when the presentation happened, you came forward, and I also thought, I didn't want to put pressure on you by suggesting you give. But when you yourself offered to give your presentation, I thought it was a wonderful gesture to try.
Right.
And you came forward and you did a very good job. You spoke on Asian financial crisis, and we all gave you a very resounding applause for your performance. And I feel that should be, I don't know if we have recorded it.
No, I know.
We have not recorded it. Otherwise, we should also use that for other students to encourage them.
Yeah. I still remember that date also. That was 1 May 2021.
Yeah, I remember April, May it was sometime, correct.
Yeah. Because because like when something big happens in someone's lives, they do remember that date.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that you have sent me a beautiful message after the presentation, and you thanked me very well, saying that like you got this opportunity and you've become very confident and all. I'm very happy for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like if you weren't the HR person, if you were the recruiter, so will you hire a person with stammering, or you will look?
That is a
what
difficult
skills are-
question,
Yeah.
but I will tell you honestly that it depends on two things. One is what are the roles available, what are the kind of roles,
Right.
and second is what kind of a company it is. As in, let me answer the second. Let me explain the second part first. What kind of company it is, meaning if it is a company like let us say TCS. TCS is one company known to be very socially aware and a very inclusive company. If it is that kind of an organization, I would not hesitate to take a person who has stammering, but who has all the other qualifications,
Right.
because I know the company will support my decision.
Right.
But if it is a person, if it's a company where they are very target oriented and they look at the commercial or the results or the performance very minutely, if I take a person who has this kind of a problem in a position where they have to interact with a lot of people, do a lot of networking, do a lot of phone calls and all that, it may put that person in pressure and may take a person back, slide down, which is not good then. So in that case, if there is a role which is a kind of a back-end role where lesser amount of interaction is there, then initially I will select a person having the required qualifications. I might not go out of the way to select a person who does not have the skill sets. But just because the person is stammering, I would not take them.
Right.
So, but if a person has got the qualifications, I will definitely not disqualify the person based on this. So, I will take them, give them a role where they become comfortable,
Right.
and I will have an extra effort. I will put some extra effort to monitor that not monitor, or rather handhold the person, and keep on giving that person confidence to move from that role to the other role. And I'll also give the person a very supportive team. I will put them in a team which is a supportive team, and then nurture that person, and I will try my best to make the person a completely, absolutely inclusive and normal person.
Right. Yeah, right. What you said is right. I think we should not think that we can't do this type of role.
No,
I
that
think
should not happen.
I think we should try, like if a person want to swim, he has to swim. Like we can't we can read books. We can learn how to swim, but when we go to
Unless
that,
you go to the water.
then only we can know that if we can swim or not. I think we should once try that kind of roles also, and if we think that role is not suitable for us, then we can go to next.
One thing a person with this stammering syndrome should remember is that they may be facing one problem, but lot of people who don't have stammering face a lot of other problems, like lack of confidence,
Right.
communication skills, lack of analytical skills. So in terms of skill sets, you are in no way less than anybody else.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So like sometimes I think that I'm glad that it stammering happened to me, because if stammering had not happened to me, then I will be this, like I would not speak much. I would be the same person. Like,
exactly, that's what I
But
mean.
when like I thought that like I should speak, then like it happened, like very much.
Very good. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
But one small word of advice for people who have the issue with reference to choosing jobs. I would think that they should look more at the kind of company that they join, rather than the package or the salaries and all that. They should be in a company which has good values, and they will be a company that should be a company which will encourage such a person.
Yeah. And what happens is that when someone says that you can't do this kind of job, so then that person thinks that okay, you have said now I will prove you that I can do this job. So then he does that job. If he don't want to do that job, no, and also he will do to prove that person. I think we should not do that.
No, yes and no, because
Yeah.
if a person is a confident person, then they will take it as a challenge
Uh-huh.
and convert the threat into
Yeah.
an opportunity to learn,
Right.
to overcome. But if the person is very sensitive, then that kind of statement that you cannot do it
Uh-huh.
will lower their confidence.
Right,
So
right.
this is a careful situation. You have to
Yeah.
deal with it carefully.
Right, yeah, exactly. You said right, yeah. And at last, I want to ask you that, like, what one advice you would like to give all the youngsters who are just starting their career and life?
So, one thing I would like to tell everybody is that very often we aim low and we don't know our own capacity. My word of advice to them is maybe you cannot be very unrealistic, but if you have an inner voice that tells you that you can do this in life, then give it a shot, give it a try, and don't blame anybody for your situation. Look at only yourself to help you. Look, the only one person or the one thing that can help you in life is the mirror. So every night before you go to sleep, look at the mirror, or every morning when you wake up, look at the mirror and look at yourself and tell yourself you can do it.
Right, yeah, right, you are right. Like some, like in my childhood days, I used to feel like why me, like why it happened to me. But like when I saw people who like who don't have, they don't have hands, or they're some kind of handicapped people.
Right.
So like they draw by their legs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So like I think we should take inspiration from them. Like we have, like we are very healthy. So it's just a small problem. So if they can do it, we can also do it.
So there is a word called impossible. So I would request you to rephrase that word as I am sure it's possible. So add the word sure it's possible. Rewrite that sentence and say anything can be done by me.
Right.
So wish you all the best for that.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for
My pleasure.
giving your time.
Absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for coming this far, Pragati. Even I feel equally proud to see you doing all these things. I wish all the students who are listening to this, or all the viewers, all the very best, and I hope you aim at the stars and get there. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Yeah.